What's up, everybody? I'm Travis. This is Jake. Welcome to our.
Be a Man podcast.
All right, something I want to start off a little different this time. I collect a lot of Blazer stuff. It's one of my hobbies, and so I want to share something from my collection. Got this here. This is a trash can from 1969. That was before the team ever played a game. This has been part of their kind of like promotional stuff to get people excited. And I don't keep any trash in it. I got some Blazer stuff in here. I got this collector with everything with Clyde Drexler on it, and I got a snow globe down there. That's enough for now.
Pretty awesome stuff. So what we are here to talk about some of the key highlights of what's going on early in the season in the Eastern Conference. There's some stuff, we're really early in the season, only 12, 13 games in, small sample size. But there's some things that are developing that are very interesting.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. One of the things that struck me first is you got the two New York teams in the cellar, both at 3 and 8.
Function.
Especially when you consider how much money Brooklyn is shelling out for that team. How much is it about again?
$198 million.
Jesus.
And how much is that as tax?
About 83, 85.
Most teams don't even have $83 million in payroll.
Yeah.
And that's what they're paying in tax. So the tax works where it's paid dollar for dollar for how much you're paying.
Yeah.
So that's...
And don't they ding you for being a repeat offender?
Yeah, it starts bumping up 3 to 1, 4 to 1.
Yeah. And so paying up for a team that's 3 and 8 is really it's bad.
And why are they able to pay all that much money?
Because Prokhorov don't give a shit.
They have a Russian billionaire owner that just has stupid money.
Yeah, that he guaranteed if they didn't win a title in his first 5 years, he would marry somebody.
And that's something he does not want to do. He likes his jet skis.
So anyway, they got problems. They're old. They got chemistry issues. They got a brand new coach. So, not counting them out yet anyway, but definitely a big surprise, especially because one of their 3 wins was against Miami.
Yeah.
So at least
last second, right? Somebody missed a free throw. Doesn't.
Oh. No, that was against Boston, wasn't it?
No, Boston hit the 3-pointer, but I'm talking about, I think Bosch was supposed to miss the free throw against the Nets, remember? And he made it anyway?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was crazy. But,
okay, so...
But the thing about the Nets that's funny is they just got these 3 Hall of Famers. They traded away a bunch of draft picks. They got a coach, Jason Kidd. He retired. And then 3 days later, he was hired. Basically, they used their thing to grab a bunch of headlines because they moved to New York from New Jersey, and they had the little brother complex, so they were trying to show that, oh, we're real, we're here, and it's kind of screwed them in the end.
Yeah. Long term, it might not be the best, might not have been the best plan, but who knows? They're playing for this year.
And they better turn it around because right now, I think they're 3 and 8.
3 and 8.
3 and 8 through 11 games, and that's insane. And the reason they have the little brother complex is the Knicks. What's going on with the Knicks?
They suck.
They really suck.
That is my analysis of them.
It's expertise.
They suck. No Chandler, who's the only guy who plays D. Bargnani, he's actually been okay, isn't he? But you think about how much money they're paying him.
He's 7 foot and he grabs 4 rebounds a game.
And then Carmelo's been putting up 10 for 28s pretty often. J.R. Smith hasn't been giving them nothing. And they don't really have a bench. They don't really have any assets. They think Shumpert is enough of an asset. They think they can flip him for Rondo. I don't know what they're thinking.
Can't do that.
And
they can't get another person on their team because they have Chris Smith on their team.
And who has their first-round pick should they miss the playoffs?
Denver. Why is that?
Because Carmelo Anthony forced his way out and was super greedy, made the Knicks trade half their team and draft pick and money.
So he can make $35 million more or something.
Yeah, and now if they miss the playoffs, Denver will get their unprotected first-round pick.
And the real irony to it is, Carmelo Anthony is a free agent this offseason. He says he wants to stay in New York, but we will see.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's got any loyalty.
Yeah.
Who else?
We also have 4 teams. Only 4 teams in the East are over 500.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. So on the Western Conference,
there's 9.
There's
9 teams that are over 500.
And what's the last team in the Western Conference that would make the playoffs?
Right now, Sacramento, who's the 14th out of 15 teams with a 4-7 record, would be tied for 8th place in the Eastern Conference.
The Eastern Conference is atrocious,
Yeah.
and it's not going to get better.
No.
They're going to have to do. They're going to have to make a playoff series out of some of these teams. Oh,
Yeah. So anyway,
it's going to.
yeah, it's bad. You got some of those teams like between like the 4 and 7, 4 and 9. Boston, you know, they got a couple guys worth watching, seeing if they develop, but not that interesting. Cleveland, that's been a surprise. They've been really dysfunctional.
Oh, everything that's going on there is nuts.
Yeah, it's so nuts that Bynum not playing and not getting things kind of fun.
Yeah, nobody's even talking about that. They got their Sugard, who's just sucking it up, Dion Waiters. They have their number 1 pick, Anthony Bennett, who's only made 2 shots the whole season out of like 38.
Ooh.
This guy, he's 12 games into his career, and he's only getting 5 minutes a game because his confidence is so bad.
Yeah,
he might end up playing D-League.
He's making Austin Rivers look like
No, jeez, a rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Geez.
running away.
And then Kyrie Irving, this do-everything point guard who's going to be a stud. I mean, is already on his way, obviously. He is, like, struggling.
Yeah. And then you got to make it think that it's got to be some sort of chemistry thing with them. So it'll be interesting to see going forward.
And their coach, Mike Brown,
Yeah.
not making it much better.
Yeah. Needless to say, at the end of the day, it doesn't look very promising to LeBron to actually want to go there, come back home.
Might as well stay in the sunny beaches of South Beach, Coconut Grove. And speaking of dysfunction, what's another one? Washington.
Yeah.
Team is just really screwy.
Yeah. They're 4 and 7. They traded for Gortat, which is supposed to be an upgrade. They traded a first-round pick, right?
Yeah, top 12 protected.
Top 12 protected.
The first-round pick, nonetheless, and a really good draft.
And I don't know what they're doing. Like, Beal's been pretty. I mean, he's been scoring. I know Nene called out some of the younger guys, I think, for not playing team ball.
Yeah, Nene's really frustrated. He went from Denver and got traded for JaVale McGee, and I just think he just does not like being in that situation.
Yeah.
And Trevor Ariza came on. He was starting to be a stud, and then he got hamstring issues. So, and another guy that's really kind of shown some flashes, Martell Webster.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent. You know, he's getting some rebounds, making threes.
But the one that's really is the former number 1 pick, John Wall. He just signed that big extension. It kicked in this year, right?
I think so.
Okay, but John Wall, he's given assists, but his shooting, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's not looking like your number 1 guy, like a team, like, you know, build a team around him. Seems like a pretty good lieutenant, though, but right now he's not the lieutenant, he's the guy. So we'll see going forward.
They're going to make some trades.
They're going to make some trades, do some stuff. Maybe we'll think about whether John Wall's their guy, because right now his backup when he was at Kentucky, Eric Bledsoe, I think we both would choose him over John Wall.
Most definitely.
So,
most definitely. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to run the team, but he is.
So what else we got going on?
Toronto. Toronto's a team that I think needs to be talked about because they have Rudy Gay that, you know.
He's expiring.
Yeah, he's expiring. They can move him.
Yeah, and we'll see because since he is expiring, we'll see if they can get anything from him. But Toronto's a team, I think we both agree that their general manager, if he sees his team is trending towards the playoffs, he would probably do trades to get them out because he understands the significance of, you know, getting an 8 seed and getting trounced by Miami or Indiana.
In 3 games.
Yeah, in 3 games. Or one of these, like, super 7 freshmen or Marcus Smart.
I mean, they really are, like, a point guard. Like, if they got Marcus Smart, that team could be nice. With DeRosa, and they got Venezuela. I can't say his name.
You just almost said Charlie Venezuela. But no, it's like Valanciunas, I think is his.
Valanciunas. Okay.
Yeah, he's a young, you know, cornerstone for them.
He's like the only untouchable guy on the whole team, I believe.
But yeah. So I think that right now they're under 500, but since they're first place in the division, so they got they're in the 4th seed. But I don't think. You know, I really don't think that it's going to be in the cards for them for the playoffs. I really think that they're going to try to push for a lottery pick and trying to take their chances there. Moving Rudy Gay, maybe moving Kyle Lowry. So
I mean, moving Kyle Lowry is ideal. Just don't know how ideal that is, but yeah.
So, and also the Eastern Conference. Let's see, some of these teams. there's not much to talk about.
Detroit's one
Oh.
that's been interesting.
Yeah, they're like the premier knucklehead team in the NBA. I mean, Brandon Jennings has got enough to carry a whole team by himself, and you put Josh Smith with him, and
Yeah.
it's like, man, if I know they do Hard Knocks, they do like a football team. Man, if they did that for Detroit, that'd be interesting.
Well, NBA TV does have.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, they call it the Hardwood or not. I don't remember what they call it, but the franchise.
Yeah.
And you know what team they did this year? The Brooklyn Nets.
Oh.
And watching it was funny because Jason Kidd didn't know what he was doing. But you're right. That would be the perfect team to do. I would love to see it. I find it really ironic that Rasheed Wallace is an assistant coach on the team because I've seen Josh Smith just move his shot out every year. Like he's gotten to the point where he's jacking up threes, but at least Rasheed Wallace was making them.
Yeah.
Josh Smith is not making them, but he's like,
Yeah.
if he would just keep his game inside, that guy's an all-star every year.
Free throw line inside.
Yeah, and if he would do that, but he will not do that.
They shouldn't have him be small forward. It was dumb to sign him. Like he's not a bad player. It doesn't he doesn't deserve to be paid. But when you have Monroe and Drummond as your 4 and 5, there's no need for you need someone who could shoot or spread the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh Smith doesn't give him that, despite the 3-pointers that he shoots. And then you'll see Jennings has been way up and down. Like he shot 25 times against the Blazers, and he shot 3 times in the last game. And you know what? You shot 3 times and they won.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that ironic coincidence? I don't know.
Anyway, I expect Detroit to be better, but there's some chemistry issues there. I don't think they're going to get anywhere starting Billups at the 2. That's one of those things that's hard when you have a guy who's done so much in one city, and then then he comes back when he's super old, and you kind of feel this maybe indebted to I gotta give this guy some run.
Yeah.
Start, even if I would play him 5 minutes a game. So
he should just. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would have hired him if he would have retired as a coach over Jason Kidd.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's. Yeah, I mean that's for another day. But yeah, it's been and then
top 3: Chicago, Miami, Indiana.
They've all been interesting.
Yeah, Chicago started out a little slow. Derrick Rose hasn't really been himself lately. I mean, I think he's going to get there. I just think it gets to the point where he just plays. He's not thinking about the things he's overcome.
Got to get out the mental cobwebs.
Yeah, he just got to get out there and play. And once you get there, I think he's going to do great things. He's going to need to because point guard's a position where neither the top 2 teams, Indiana is especially strong, or Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a clear advantage they have, and he has to play, I think, a super MVP level to, they did beat Indiana, and that's Indiana's only loss. So
and they beat them up.
They handled them.
They had 60 points at halftime.
And Indiana gives up 87 points a game.
Yeah,
so
that team's very defensive.
And I think Miami is kind of business as usual. I think they got to the point where they realized that it's all about the playoffs. And they need to be healthy and ready to go, especially Dwayne Wade, who's always seems like on the verge of breaking down.
Yeah, he's a young 2 guard to spell him.
Yeah.
And the thing with Miami is they could end up being 6 or 7. They won't.
Yeah.
But they could be the 6th or 7th seed, and they could run this.
Yeah. So they've been played in 3 straight finals, and then the big 3 played in the Olympics also.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been playing a lot of minutes. So anything. I don't think they're quite going to do a Popovich thing where he just sits the guys out on national TV. But I think they're going to take their definitely rest up, and some people might try to be like, oh wow, what's wrong with Miami? It's like, well, they don't give a shit about the regular season. Yeah. It's all about the playoffs, and it's all about winning. LeBron's won all the MVPs. He's won. He's got scoring titles. He got individual records. It's all about rings for him now. So.
When he used up this summer, I think he really maximized his celebrity. He was everywhere. He was shooting. I mean, his family in the Samsung commercials. He got married in September, went to Italy for a month. I think he's just using the season to play himself into shape.
Yeah. And it's all going to be fine for Miami. They've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, by March, they'll be number 2 in the East.
And then number 1, you got
Miami,
Indiana, who's playing amazing. They're the team that's locked in. You can tell they're hungry. Kind of like OKC 2 years ago when they still had Harden.
Young team with great chemistry.
Great chemistry. They're hungry. They're really scary. Yes. And I really think that to them, getting the number 1 seed is really important. Since they're young and inexperienced. I mean, they're getting there, but be able to have home court for any Game 7 would be really, really beneficial for them. And even though they're like a really defensive team that's kind of grinds it, they're actually a good team to watch. I like watching them.
Must watch.
They play great together. They have great chemistry. They play hard. And that's the kind of teams you like to watch and like to see do well. So I've been impressed with them. They seem to have their foot all the way down on the pedal, and they're going to...
And they play defense. That's the thing. Like, they're at their foot on the pedal, but then they will lock you down on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anybody's ever won MVP and six-man, and most improved in the same season? Because Paul George could be a candidate for both.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy being a top 3 for MVP, most improved. I mean, he took a leap last year, and he's really not let go. Like, he's really kept up, and, you know, 35 against the Knicks in the Garden. You know, they came back and won that game. They're down early, so...
21 in fourth quarter and overtime.
So, that's where, you know, it's... For those, if you want to be a great player, you got to do that damage late in games. You don't have to do it in the first 3 quarters if you can't do it when it really matters. So, you know, I think he's really an emerging superstar in the league. I mean, he's going to be on par with, because he's only like 23 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Durant are going to be like the best. I mean, LeBron's he's in his late 20s. Carmelo is not in the same league as those guys. So, anyway.
Yeah.
So for the first couple weeks, you know, some interesting storylines. Indiana looks great. Miami, you know, I think they're being smart by taking it easy. Bulls are starting to turn it on, and everyone else sucks.
Yeah. Eastern Conference is just a circus of suckiness.
Yeah, and so those teams will have to beat up on the crappy teams so they can get that, you know. I think for Chicago and Indiana, it's important for them to finish higher than the Heat. And the Heat, I don't think it's as important. So... Anything you're looking forward to in the Eastern Conference next couple weeks, next month or two? Thing you're looking out for?
Like to see Larry Sanders come back from his injury.
Oh, yeah.
His injury was... Larry Sanders is a stud guy. He just signed this 4-year, $44 million. Was it 44?
Yeah.
And he goes to the club, probably just too inebriated. Nobody knows. And he gets in conversation with somebody, hits him over the head with a champagne bottle, lacerates the tendon in his thumb, and he's out 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, well done, sir.
Living that life.
But I think it's really a blessing in disguise for him. Because the more games they lose, no illusions their owner will have if they can make the playoffs. And the more games they lose, the better seed they get. Because they're not getting any free agent to come to Milwaukee. So if they can get one, you know, be the higher position to draft higher,
and that's what they
good
do.
on them. So.
And I know that their owner, Senator Herb Kohl, he does not like to tank. He's all about trying to make the playoffs even though you're going to lose in the first round.
Yeah.
So I hope that the GM there is trying to tell him this is what we need to do. Because you get Jabari in there.
Yeah.
You get Randall in there.
And then you turn your whole team around.
Yes.
All right. So I think that wraps it up for our kind of first review of the Eastern Conference going forward in the 2013-14 season. Until next time, I'm Travis.
I'm Jake. Be a man.